Good afternoon. Robert Coles with Quality Recovery Agency, LLC. I'm back again with another exciting podcast video update on one of our four deals, the grand total of $339,000. I'm going to talk to you today about the deal that we just closed. It was 2 weeks ago, and it was for $96,000. So here's what I could tell you about that deal. I'll give a little insight. So that deal, it's a Medicare, Medicaid deal with the grandparents, mother, husband, and wife was on the deed of trust when we got the documentation from the courts. We found out that the grandfather had deceased and the grandmother, her name was on the deed, the only individual that was on the deed, left on the deed. So we found out that after doing more digging, grandmother was actually incapacitated in the assisted living facilities here locally, and the granddaughter currently had a medical POA for her. And we found out that with her having a medical POA and she's the only living heir, we were able to go over to that assisted living facilities. I went there, the lawyer went there, and we were able to the lawyer made an assessment of her situation because she does have onset dementia. So the lawyer met with her and made the determination that she was in her right state of mind to go ahead and sign a general power of attorney over to her granddaughter. So at present, the granddaughter has all the legal documentation to make all the legal decisions from medical as well as from a general power of attorney standpoint of view to move forward and in hopes that we can help to claim this money. So this is a $96,000 surplus claim that involves Medicare and Medicaid. So item number one. So once we started doing a little bit more digging, we found out that there's a surplus, there's a lien on this particular surplus in the amount of $185,000. Wow. We didn't know that in the very beginning. So once we found that out, I sat down with the lawyer and we started brainstorming to see exactly what we could do. So the money's been sitting there for a while, and apparently the lien holder didn't realize the money was there. So the lawyer and I, he actually put together the documentation to go in for a simple settlement. So in the settlement, we offered them $20,000, a starting point, so they could get something, because at this point, for the last several years, they haven't gotten anything. So we got an answer back about a week ago, and they said that they refused that offer. So 3 days later, the lawyer put another offer in for $40,000. That was a firm offer for $40K. We're hoping, if all goes well, that we can actually get them on board with $40,000, and in hopes that we can actually secure that money for them within 60 days. That's what's in the settlement agreement. If they're willing to settle for $40,000, then within 60 days of them signing the documentation from the attorney, then we would pay them that $40,000. So that's the gist of everything. But here's a caveat. Medicare and Medicaid deals, they are very, very different than any other surplus that I've ever did. It's more complicated, and you have to be careful when dealing with Medicare and Medicaid, because these are state and federal funds that we're talking about. So if I were you, and if you came across a Medicare Medicaid deal, I would simply say walk away next, because there's a lot that goes into it. I summarize this entire process, but there's a lot other complications that we're dealing with, that we work through this process. So, but what I'll tell everybody who's listening to me on this video is that we embrace all future Medicare, Medicaid complex opportunities, because we've gone through this process and we understand this process. And the next one that we do that has a Medicaid involvement, we will be ready, and we will be able to be more aggressive as well as more detail orientated. And we have educated ourselves on probably a niche market that very, very few people are able to go after, because with so much complexities. But the summary is this: We were able to get the granddaughter. She has the medical POA. Now, the lawyer drafted up the general power of attorney. So now she has the general power of attorney. She can handle all. She can handle all their finances. That's the good part. So now we're waiting for the lien holder to come back with an acceptance or a denial for the settlement of $40,000. As we get an answer back from the lien holder here locally, I will put out another video that gives you the update that lets you know that whether they were able to accept that particular settlement proposal or not. Once again, this is Robert Coles at Quality Recovery Agency, LLC. You can reach us on the web at www.qnra.net, or you can reach us by email at info@qnra.net, or you can reach me direct 336-447-7638. Once again, if you've been in the business, you were not able to make any money in the surplus recovery business, I'll tell you to give it a second look. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there's absolutely plenty out here for every single body. This space is not crowded. This is a great opportunity to make some extremely great money. And I'll tell you the same thing that Jimmy V said, the NC State head coach 20 years ago when he was going through his struggle with cancer before he passed. He said, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. And that's my message to everybody who's looking at surplus recovery. It's not for everybody. You have to put time in to get to a place where you understand this business and that you become the next best thing to a subject matter expert. When you call people, they expect you to have all the answers. Sometimes we don't have the answers, but we have to be able to do one thing in this business, and that is to have a honest, straightforward, truthful conversation when you talk to people. I think that's our biggest advantages, is that we tell people the truth. We don't sugarcoat it. We do not walk in the gray areas. That's my advice for today. Robert Coles, Quality Recovery Agency, LLC. Make it a blessed